Peace, family. Doing a deck a day today for y'all. And for myself, we are welcoming officially Mercury retrograde. That started first day yesterday, going until February 3rd. And we are still in the midst of Venus retrograde. And I've been feeling it. I have. So I'm curious to see how Mercury's retrograde rolled up with that energy is going to do what it does. So I'm going to do this reading. I'm still working with tarot. I believe this is going to be my last tarot deck, and then I'm going to move on, continuing with the as below, so above, micro, macro energy, and definitely wanted to start with using all of my tarot decks. And then we're going to be going to some earth energy, some nature energy, some root energy. So I'm also working with the Muse Tarot today and some of my Potent Potions mirrors. So these are mirrors that align with my oil blends, my Potent Potions. So this first one, see which one, if it resonates with you, is for Attract Abundance, and it is with citrine crystals and copper and steel. And they all glow in the dark. This second one, if it resonates, is Wonder Woman, and it is with rainbow moonstone crystals and copper and steel. And last but not least is for my In Tune Immune Potent Potion, and this is with moss agate with copper and steel, and clear quartz in all of them as well. So see which one resonates with you. I do want to align with Mercury retrograde's energy, given that we are right at the start, despite, you know, retro shade still kind of starts 2 weeks before and lasts 2 weeks after the peak in terms of retrogrades. The official start for Mercury retrograde was the 14th. So I want to tap in to that energy and give you guys that alignment. So the message that you get, all of them really, but particularly the deck, the pile, the mirror that you choose, is a message for you specifically of things to keep in mind throughout this moment of retrograde, which is about reflection and redoing and reevaluating and all of those rewords, and being mindful of technology, you know, issues and communication issues. You know, making sure that you back up all your files on the computer and your phone, checking your bank account, taking screenshots, all of that kind of stuff. You want to be mindful. So additionally, we'll see what the cards have in store for you to keep in mind throughout this Mercury retrograde. So if you chose Attract Abundance with citrine, your message to keep in mind during Mercury retrograde is the Queen of Materials. The materials are aligned with our pentacles, so we're going with Queen of Pentacles energy. So we are aligning with earth energy, with the physical. You're thinking with Zodiac alignments, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, which are our earth signs. And then the Queen energy is of Pentacles in particular, or in this case of materials, is resourcefulness. A resourceful person. You're thinking fertility, you're thinking domesticity. I believe we got the Queen of Pentacles in another very recent Decade, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe that was another reading that I did for a client, but she's fresh in my mind and aligning particularly with thinking about money. Like I just said, with Mercury retrograde, you want to make sure to back up your bank account information, taking screenshots of your bank balance, different things like that. So I would definitely heed that advice if you chose this particular pile, to keep an eye on your money, making sure that you're also not making any hasty payments, spending, different things like that. It's not a good time to make big purchases. It's not a good time to sign contracts. All of these things. You are definitely resourceful. You definitely, you know, and again, thinking about domesticity, you may be in a place right now where you feel like you want to either spruce up your home or buy that new couch or something to that effect. And it is definitely not ideal to do that right now. So I'm getting the intuition that you may be kind of either already thinking about making that purchase or have already made that purchase. So you just want to make sure you keep the receipt. That's what just came through as well. If it's already too late in the sense of already have made the purchase, make sure you keep your receipts. Make sure that you are able to make any returns. If necessary, you want to also make sure for any purchases that you do make that you check your receipts. Make sure that you are not overcharged before you leave the store. Make sure purchases that you have actually already brought home, that there aren't any damages to them. Different things like that. That's part of resourcefulness. That's part of being smart about your money and thinking about how you're making sense for your home and for, you know, the dollars that you're spending. Even if it is about investing in yourself and in your home, you want to make sure that you're making the right investments. Fertility comes through, so you see, you know, with this queen energy, she's full of bloom. It's just really creation energy. It's really, you know, thinking about birthing something, about bringing something to fruition, fertility in that sense, that womb energy. So it is definitely a fruitful time, but you want to make sure that you're not doing anything, again, hasty or something that is going to affect your fertility in regards to your money situation. So I hope that resonates. Definitely keep your money management in mind during this Mercury retrograde. If you chose Wonder Woman with Rainbow Moonstone, your message to keep in mind, slippery cards, for Mercury retrograde is the Five of Voices. Our voices align with swords in the traditional deck, tarot deck. So our Five of Swords brings in, we're thinking the air element, we're thinking the intellect, issues of the mind, you know, thoughts that we have and how we control those thoughts. Zodiac alignments, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So you could be one of those zodiac signs if you chose this pile, or there's a particular connection, association potentially, or it's heavy in your chart. But we're thinking with the Five of Swords, it brings in issues of conflict, issues of drama in relationships in particular, manipulation, bullies potentially, an abusive relationship or dynamic or situation. You could be the one on the receiving end of the drama or the bullying or the abuse, or you could potentially be on the giving end of that. So you definitely, again, during retrograde energy, and I'm loving thus far these alignments, because it is a time again to reevaluate, to redo, to reassess, all those rewords, to just reflect, you know, take a moment, and again, evaluate, reevaluate what position you're in regards to a potential conflictual dynamic or situation or relationship or situationship. If you feel this could also be society-wise, that can be professional as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be a personal or passionate dynamic, but you want to pay attention to how you're being treated and how you're treating other people. It's a good time, again, during retrogrades to kind of just take it easy, lay low, you know, be very introspective, reflect, and it's easier for you to decide or to figure out. I shouldn't say decide, because it's something that you really do have to tap in and dig deep to be honest with yourself so that you can be honest with others and evaluate if you are the one that is on the receiving end of a particular, you know, not so good or not so harmonious dynamic that is bringing conflict to, you know, your particular situation with this person, or if again you're the one that is not necessarily treating someone too good. There's a, you know, general idea of theft here as well. So this is why also aligning with Mercury retrograde in regards to our money situation, paying attention to our bank accounts, making sure that you're not going into any partnerships, whether it's professional or personal, during this time. You don't start anything new during a Mercury retrograde. So if you are thinking that, if you are, you know, again, not a good time to sign contracts, and it doesn't always have to be a written contract. These could be verbal contracts. These could be, you know, soul contracts, you know, just thinking about starting new relationships across the board. You want to be mindful of that, because if you do start it now, something fresh during this time, it is definitely going to heighten the chance of it ending in something more conflictual, ending with some type of betrayal or abuse or theft or, you know, a defensive, conflictual potentially violent, even abusive type of dynamic. So be mindful, take more time to think about the potential partnership or relationship during this time of reflection, and then make your decision. I would say even wait till like the end of February if there's a question of starting this new venture with somebody new. If you've chosen the third one here for In Tune Immune with Moss Agate, your message to keep in mind for Mercury's retrograde is our 10 of materials. Again, materials aligning with our Pentacles energy. So now we're back to our Taurus, Cappies, Virgos. Potentially, this could be an alignment of yours or very heavy in your chart, or you are connected specifically with somebody that is of one of these zodiac signs. Doesn't have to be, but definitely that is the alignment for these, for the Pentacles, Earth energy, Earth element, the physical stability, that kind of energy. And with the 10, we're talking the number of completion. We're talking about leaving a legacy, retirement, inheritance. This is all very much aligning, again, with money, with making the right decisions during this Mercury retrograde. And ironically, making the right decisions during a retrograde is often not making a decision at all. It really is a time to just like not decide anything right now, not, you know, sign on any dotted lines. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself just because of how aligned these particular choices, these selections, these cards, you know, again, randomly chosen, are aligning with general advice in regards to a Mercury retrograde, but very specific in terms of confirming the concepts of watch your money. Don't make any hasty decisions right now. Be mindful of the partnerships that you get into. And like I said, not even to say be mindful of the partnerships that you're getting into. If it's something new, you do want to try your best to wait before making that decision. You want to take time to reassess, to reevaluate, etc., etc. Kind of wait it out, lay low for right now, and you know, wait till the end of February, mid-February even, you know, should be good. But I always play it extra safe and really try to clear that retro shade 2 weeks, you know, post the end of a retrograde. And like I said, February 3rd is when we're going to have our last official peak day of this Mercury retrograde. So, you know, I would say wait on that. 10 of Pentacles, if you're looking at leaving a legacy, if you're talking about generational wealth, if you're talking about making sure that you're making a decision that is going to be good for you, that is going to be lasting for you, for your children, for generations to come, you want to make sure that you're not putting yourself potentially in the energy of the Five of Swords, as we just got, or putting yourself in a bind in regards to spending or overspending, you know, even if it's something that you're sprucing up your place about in regards to the Queen of Pentacles, that you want to really think forward thinking. You want to think for the future. And this is legacy building. So in regards to making sure you're making the right decision for future generations, for it to be long lasting, for it to, again, to be about legacy, passing things down, what's the rush? You know what I mean? Like, it's just not an ideal time to make a decision that you want to be that kind of long lasting. It's actually more risky in general, even if you're not thinking about doing it during a retrograde, but especially during a Mercury retrograde. You might want to chill on that before you make those kinds of forever and ever, amen, ashe, it is done type of decisions. So keep that in mind. I do hope that resonates. All of them resonate for me, and all of them are very kind of on point. So I truly appreciate it, and I know that I wanted to make sure to do a reading for the collective and for myself. So I decided to do it in this way so that we can all get the messages together. So I hope that the retrograde doesn't tear y'all down too much, and that you just get a lot of that reflection time, that rest time, that relaxation time. Again, any RE word that you can think of, chances are will align and is a very good to-do thing to do during the retrograde. So until the next time, lest we forget, time to get back to natural. Peace.